Okay, so we're gonna go through a dysfunctional thought record now with my sister. So, what is a negative thought that you have that you want to work through with this dysfunctional thought record?
Sometimes I feel like my dad is mad at me.
Okay, so sometimes you feel like your dad is mad at you. So, first part of this is like, what is going on that makes you think that he's mad at you?
The tone of his voice that he uses.
Okay, so like he like yells?
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. So because of the tone of his voice, you think that he is mad at you?
Yeah.
Often. Okay. So, what kind of physical sensations do you have like when he's talking at you like this?
Uncomfortable.
Okay.
A little nervous.
Nervous? Okay. Like anxious nervous or like scared nervous?
Scared nervous.
Nah.
Like both.
Okay.
Just like
Any other like physical sensations that you feel?
defensive.
Defensive? Okay. Anything like elevated heart rate, like sweating, things like that?
A little sweaty.
A little sweaty?
Clammy.
Okay. So the automatic thought then, I guess, would be if you think he's yelling at you, you think he's mad.
Yeah.
Okay. So how much do you believe that, like in the moment, like on a percentage, like 1 to 100, like how much do you believe that he is mad at you in that moment when he is talking at you like that?
60-40.
Like 60% he's mad, 40
Yeah.
he's not. So you're not really sure, kind of feeling it out. Okay. That's fair. So we already went over like the physical symptoms that you have. Like, what are some emotions, some other emotions that you have, like when this kind of thing is happening?
Timid and shy. Not shy, but like timid.
Okay.
I already said nervous.
Okay, nervous. Uncomfortable. You said uncomfortable.
Defenseless almost.
Defenseless. Okay. And how intense are those emotions? Like on a scale of 1 to 100%.
Timid, like a solid 90.
Solid 90. Okay.
Defenseless, like 60 again.
Okay.
And nervous, like 75.
Okay. So those are pretty high numbers. Okay. What?
Is that okay?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So let's try to think. It sounds like out of the cognitive distortions that I've explained to you before, it seems like this one is a little bit of jumping to conclusions. So would you agree to that? You're kind of assuming that he's mad at you?
Yeah, I've never really asked.
You've never asked? Okay. So definitely jumping to conclusions about this. So that's the cognitive distortion that you're using, kind of like mind reading, it seems like. Assuming, yeah. So how much do you believe that he is mad at you? You already said that that's like 60%, you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I'm pretty sure, but don't really know.
So, like, what evidence is there that he is actually mad at you?
Just the tone of his voice. Like,
are the words that he's saying angry? Or it's literally just the tone of his voice?
it's the way, not what he says, but the way he says it.
Okay. So, what is an alternative response to that? Like, so give me one example that could possibly be another explanation for the tone of his voice.
He had a long day at work.
Okay, so maybe he's just annoyed the day that he had to work. Okay, could be. He does have a stressful job. So the automatic thought, how much do you believe that thought that he's mad at you? Like, not how much you feel it, but like how much do you believe that, like, yes, he's mad at me? Like in that moment.
Like 70%.
70%? Okay. And then after possibly thinking about that other response, like the other consideration that maybe he did just have a long day, how do you like think that you would go forward handling those situations? Like maybe, like what, knowing that there might be another explanation for it other than being mad, like what do you think you would do differently like from now on?
Ask him how work was before we have a conversation.
Okay, that's a good response. That's fine. So after thinking about that, like how much if you're thinking about the other alternative responses, like how, or alternative situations for why he would be speaking in this tone of voice, like how much do you believe that he's mad at you after considering that?
Only like 40%.
Only 40? Okay. We'll work on it. No. Fine. Alright, so just a few more questions to kind of like challenge these thoughts. So like, I kind of already went over this one, like what is the evidence that this automatic thought is true? You said already that there really isn't any.
It's the tone of his voice.
Just the tone of his voice. So what evidence, is there any evidence that this thought is not true?
No, not really evidence.
Either way,
Yeah.
it's just the tone of his voice. So we already kind of talked about the second question as well, like is there an alternative explanation? So you came up with the fact that maybe he had a long day at work and he's just kind of annoyed from that. What's like one other, think of like one other explanation that there could be for the tone of voice, if you can. Maybe like,
I don't know.
what'd you say?
He's hungry?
He's hungry? No, maybe you think deeper than that, Lane. It's not just about those things. Maybe that's how his parents used to talk to him.
Oh,
And it's
maybe
kind
I
of
think
like a way that he's already adapted that that's how he talks.
So that makes sense.
So maybe there's just an alternative. You
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know for a fact, but I mean, you never know unless you asked, I guess.
Very true.
So the next one here, like, what's the worst that could happen, and how could you cope? So like, if he was angry with you, what's the worst that could happen? That you would. That's how you would cope. Like, what would be something that he could maybe do that would, or say, I guess maybe, that would be like worst case scenario.
Yell at me.
Like actually yell at you
Like,
and mean it.
yeah, like insult me.
Insult you.
Like,
Okay.
say something to make me feel bad about myself.
Okay. And you're just getting away from him.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's a good way to cope. Just remove yourself from the situation. So what's the best thing that could happen?
He's not mad at me, and he talks nicer to me.
Okay. And so what are the effects maybe that believing that automatic thought that he's mad at you all the time just because of his tone of voice? Like, how does that affect your actions and your behaviors in your daily life?
Well, it makes me more anxious that I'm always doing something wrong.
Okay.
Or that I could be doing something better.
Okay.
So it's more of like a worrisome kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah, it makes you anxious having that unknowingness kind of just like hanging over you. Uncertainty. So what do you think would be the effect of changing your thinking about the situation?
What if I thought positive stuff?
Yeah. Not necessarily positive stuff, but even just alternatives, like what we talked about, like with maybe that's just how he was brought up. Like what's the alternative, at least to just considering that? Like even if his behavior doesn't change, what could your change bring to the table for you?
Well, I think understanding helps. Like if I knew that was the way his parents talked to him, knowing that, oh, like that's why he's like this.
Yeah.
I guess just having an answer is helpful to me at least.
Fair.
And then when he talks to me, I could respond in a positive way too, rather than being negative back.
It's more of a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So this next one here, if, like, let's just say if your friend was in this situation and had this angry thought, like, what would you tell them? Like, what advice would you maybe give them?
I'd probably just tell them to talk to them and be upfront about it. Like, hey, are you mad at me? Like,
so you see, like, where that inconsistency comes in. Like, people always treat themselves worse than they would treat other people.
Yeah.
And then the last question here, like, what are you gonna do about it?
Talk to him.
Talk to him.
You know, ask in a friendly way, not an aggressive way.
Yeah, just kind of acknowledging the situation and even just acknowledging your feelings about it, like
making sure that he's okay, not just being mean.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of just maybe like I'm just checking in to make sure you're okay because the way you're talking to me is making me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So let's kind of work this out.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any other questions about the process of a dysfunctional thought record?
No.
So typically for these kind of things, they make like worksheets, which you can like give to clients and, you know, other people. You can even just fill them out on your own, or like you can have like a specific date and time like that a thought happened, and you can actually track like those questions that we went through and just kind of see the patterns. Like it's a really good way to see people's dysfunctional thoughts. Like sometimes people don't even notice that they have them. Like they've lived with them for so long that like it's hard to even pinpoint what the thought is. So this is a good way to use that as like a way to see it on paper and just kind of like analyze it.
Good to know.
Good to know.